Special people, exciting conversations, provocative conversations. Good afternoon, Bahamas, and welcome to this episode of inaugural episode of a program we call Special People. And today I have with me two very exciting and excited ladies who are raring to get this conversation on the way. But just before we do that, I just want to recognize our sponsor for today's episode, Open Systems Technologies International. Open Systems Technologies has been in the Bahamas for over 20 years, providing business continuity solutions. So give them a call and let them provide solutions for your business. 242-603-6736. Open Systems Technologies International. Check out their website. Mr. Peter Bridgewater, CEO and President, will be more than happy to get you your business solutions. I also want to extend a warm greeting to our sister programs in the Caribbean, Special Olympics Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, Bermuda, Haiti, and all of the other programs that I have not mentioned at this point. But today, two ladies, and I will have them introduce themselves so we can get our conversation started. We're going to start on my far left. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the people, our viewers, a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Anita Moncur, aka Lynx, and I'm a proud Special Olympics athlete. And Brandon is an Inspirational Ambassador, an assistant coach for bocce, and an official.
Okay, sounds good. So it sounds like you and I are going to have a lot to talk about. Inspirational Ambassador, assistant bocce coach, man, you got it all going on. But before we come to you with our conversation, let's have our other guest introduce herself.
I am Amanda Moncur. I'm actually Anita's sister. Currently I serve as principal of Stapleton School. And I am board chair currently of Special Olympics Bahamas. I've been involved in this program for many, many years. I would say since 1981, or was it 83, Anita? 1983, when I had my first introduction to the global part of it, but since 81, when I would have been involved locally.
Okay, great stuff. So sounds like we have some interesting conversations coming up today. Board chair, assistant bocce coach, Inspirational Ambassador, principal at Stapleton School. We definitely have a lot to talk about today. But just before we get into the conversations, I also want to indicate to persons who may be watching, whether individuals or corporate Bahamas, small businesses, whatever have you, if you inspired anywhere along the way to make a donation to Special Olympics Bahamas, you can contact us at 359-3558, 477-0304, or you can email us at info@specialolympicsbahamas.org. And we will be more than happy to accept your donation. And those of you thinking about becoming volunteer with the program, we certainly would invite you and appreciate your time. So you too can give us a call. Again, those numbers 359-3558, 477-0304, or email info@specialolympicsbahamas.org. So Anita, let's start with you. You talked about the Inspirational Ambassador. give us a little bit of an insight of what an inspirational ambassador does for Special Olympics Bahamas.
Well, I encourage athletes to do their best and arrange transportation and speeches, local speeches, like and MC, doing the MC for speeches and for different functions.
Okay, great. And I heard a couple of your speeches, and you, I think, do quite well, and the crowd seems always to be surprised and excited at how well you do with your speeches. Is that attached to any particular program within Special Olympics Bahamas where you learn to do these speeches?
Global Messenger.
Global Messenger. Okay, so again, there's something else that you're involved with Special Olympics. And as Mandy said, she's been around for quite a while, and I believe, and I stand corrected, that you've been involved with Special Olympics longer than she has been. As an athlete, obviously as an assistant bocce coach. Tell us, this assistant bocce coach, I mean, do you really coach, or are you just standing there pretending to coach?
No, I help with the coaching.
You, okay. And you know, I'm going to put you to the test to make sure you're a real bocce coach. So you have to tell me and the viewing audience, how long is the bocce court?
Well, the bocce court is 60 feet long.
What?
And 12 feet wide.
You got it right on the button. And how many balls that you normally use to play this game of bocce?
It's 8 balls. Actually, it's 9. The smaller ball called a polena.
Okay. All right. So you really know your stuff. And I heard you even mention something about an official.
Yes.
So what do you do as an official?
I'm actually the flag bearer.
Okay, great. And you, I think I recall, would have attended several of our bocce national championships, right in your, I guess your mother's hometown of Tappan Bay, Louthra. How was that?
It was great.
Okay. All right. But we're going to come back to you in a few seconds with some more questions. But I want to turn to Mandy right now. Mandy, you've been around, you said, for ages. You also indicated that you're current board chair. But I would imagine, having been around in Special Olympics Bahamas for so long, that you would have held several other roles within Special Olympics Bahamas. Tell us about a couple of those.
Well, I suppose the overall role is the volunteer role. That is how all of us who are involved in Special Olympics, especially in our region, this region, we are volunteers. And I would have started as a volunteer. I could remember driving Stapleton School's little bus back in the late 80s. The little stick shift bus picking up athletes, one of those little 15-seater buses, ensuring that the athletes got to practice, any events, helping out in whatever area. So the overall role would be volunteer, serving as a family's ambassador even, eventually to becoming involved at the board level, national director, board chair, but it's all volunteer. You know, it's when Special Olympics here, when you're involved, you're a volunteer, whether you're a coach, and I would have coached it as well. I remember even going to Jamaica to do a bocce coaching course.
Okay.
I don't remember the date, but I remember that Dorothy Roberts and myself would have done our first introduction to bocce at a bocce coaching course in Jamaica. So the roles have been numerous, but I'd like to call a volunteer, Special Olympics volunteer.
Okay, great. Well, having served in so many roles in Special Olympics, even though, yes, as you said, overall it's a volunteer, I would imagine that you've seen more than most with your time as Special Olympics Bahamas. But tell us, what is the mission of Special Olympics, and who is this mission designed to serve?
Well, the mission is to provide year-round sports, training, and competition for persons with intellectual disabilities. But we find that Special Olympics is far more than sport, than the training and competition. Especially in that role as a volunteer, you really become a surrogate parent, to the point where when athletes are traveling, they may have to sleep at your house the night before just to make sure they get to the airport, or actually buying everything and packing a suitcase for them. However, like I said, it's more than just the sport of it. The Special Olympics program has initiatives where some of our athletes may have had their first tooth examination or eye examination. There's the Healthy Athletes Initiative.
What I would like to ask you is because, oftentimes I think there are a couple of myths that go along with the name Special Olympics, and one of those myths is that all of the athletes are kids. So many times you hear people talk about the kids, how are the kids doing, how are you doing with the kids, and that's not really what Special Olympics is all about, is it?
No, it's not. It's not for kids only. I mean, Anita would not want me to talk her age, but she's certainly not a kid. Anita is in her 50s. So Special Olympics serves children and adults with intellectual disabilities. We've been to competitions where we've had persons in their 70s and 80s competing.
Okay.
And here we would have had athletes close to 60 years of age involved and competing.
And one of the other myths that I always run into with Special Olympics is that people always ask, so when is the next Special Olympics? Is Special Olympics an event?
It is not an event. Special Olympics is year-round. It's going on every day of the year. The 365 days of the year in some city, some village, some settlement. It is happening year-round.
So Special Olympics really is the movement itself.
Yes, it is. It's a movement,
Okay.
a global movement.
Okay.
And it became a global movement. It started in the United States, but it has become global, and that's because of the vision of the founder. She didn't want it to just remain something in the back door, the backyard of the United States. She wanted that to extend it to the world. And they have indeed extended it to the world.
Certainly, because at this point I know we have over 5 million athletes all around the world in Special Olympics programs, well over 190 countries. One last question for you before I go back to Anita, and that is that the mission that you talked about, is that the mission of Special Olympics in the Bahamas, or is that the mission for all programs?
Well, we are part of the worldwide movement, so that is the mission of Special Olympics. And whether it's Special Olympics Bahamas or Haiti or the U.S. or Czechoslovakia, that is the mission as well. If you are a part of Special Olympics International, then that is the global mission.
Okay, great. So Anita, let me come back to you for a minute. We talk about all these years that you've been involved in Special Olympics Bahamas, and Amanda here was so kind enough to share your age to a certain degree with all of our viewing audience. So certainly you've got a lot of experience. Tell us some of the places, I'm sure, because I see a medal around your neck, and we're going to come to that in a minute, but tell us some of the places that you have traveled to compete on an international level for Special Olympics, Bahamas.
Well, it's Louisiana, Indiana, Minnesota, Connecticut, North Carolina, Ireland, Greece, and Abu Dhabi.
Okay, so you've pretty much been almost all around the world just because of your involvement in Special Olympics and traveling to all of these different places. Did you do the same sport? Was it different sports? Tell us some of the sports that you played.
I did track in Louisiana, swimming in Indiana. I did horseback riding in Minnesota.
Horseback riding?
Yes.
You mean like actually getting on top of a four-legged animal called a horse?
Yep.
Wow.
I did it 3 times.
Okay. Fantastic. You're braver than I am. I think I may have sat on the back of a horse once.
That was Minnesota, Connecticut, and North Carolina.
Okay. And well, since you did horseback riding, you mentioned Abu Dhabi. Did you wrestle any alligators or kill any lions with your bare hands?
No.
Ride a camel?
I rode the camel.
You rode the camel in Abu Dhabi? Okay, great stuff. So
and the four-wheelers they had there too in the desert
Okay. So you've not just visited some of these places. You actually got involved with the culture and experienced a bit of what those places had to offer. That's what it seems like to me. Okay, all right. Now, back to this medal hanging around your neck. That's a gold medal, am I correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and that is from where?
From Abu Dhabi.
In the sport of?
Bowling.
Bowling, okay. So, as an assistant bocce coach, you, I would imagine, don't compete in bocce anymore. But it seems like you still compete in other sports.
Yes.
Okay, what are the other sports you still compete in?
Well, I did a little bit of swimming.
Okay.
Well, I do swimming and actually bowling.
And bowling, okay. And obviously you must be pretty good at bowling to go all the way to Abu Dhabi and come back with a gold medal. I've seen a video actually of you getting up on the podium and your name being called and this gold medal being draped around your neck. How did that feel?
Oh, I feel awesome.
Okay, and I'm sure it must have, because I've never had a gold medal put around my neck, so I can only imagine what that feeling must have been like. Any plans of you retiring soon, or are you going to keep going?
I'm gonna keep going. Really gonna keep going.
Okay.
Especially as an assistant coach.
Okay.
For bocce.
What about as an athlete?
Yeah, for bowling.
Okay. Great stuff. And Mandy, back to you. We've talked about the program in terms of the mission of not just the local program but international program. I know you mentioned volunteers, but just briefly, and just tell us how important is it to have volunteers in the program, particularly in the Bahamas?
Our program cannot run properly without volunteers.
That being the case, how do you go about getting your volunteers?
We recruit. Sometimes we see a person and we're like, oh, this may, she might be a good volunteer. And I mean, it's mainly through recruitment, I suppose. Mainly through recruitment. And we're always asking for volunteers.
Okay, so why don't you put a pitch right in now for some volunteers?
Well, we'd love to have some volunteers. So for those persons out there thinking about, I'd like to get involved in something where I can give back. Special Olympics Bahamas program is the place to be. We not only need coaches, we need persons to assist with transportation, we need persons to assist us in getting funding and donations. Sometimes we need persons to just help us serve meals at events.
Okay.
The whole program is run
By volunteers.
by volunteers.
Okay, so based on some of the needs, the areas of needs that you mentioned, I would imagine, and particularly for our viewers who may be thinking about getting involved, do you need any previous experience in coaching, in particular, to become a volunteer with Special Olympics Bahamas?
Well, I would say that you do not need any previous experience in coaching, because I certainly didn't have any experience in coaching when I started out and I was involved. So no, you do not have to have a previous experience. It would be beneficial. However, Special Olympics has programs to train coaches.
Okay, great.
So you don't have to be a trained coach.
And I think that's important for the viewers to understand, because sometimes people may look at a program and say, boy, that's interesting, I wouldn't mind helping, but I don't know anything about basketball, I don't know anything about swimming or whatever the case may be, so no, I won't volunteer. So there you have it. No experience required. Special Olympics Bahamas always looking for volunteers. And on that note, I would like to take this opportunity to highlight one of our sister programs in the Caribbean, and today we are going to highlight St. Kitts and Nevis. Okay, our good friend Mr. Ivor Blake and Miss Clarice Cotton. Anita, I believe you're really good friends with Clarice Cotton from down in St. Kitts, no? I saw you in a photo. I saw you in a photo with Clarice.
Yeah, she may not know Clarice by name, but certainly by face.
Okay.
Clarice and I probably have the same amount of years of being involved in Special Olympics, and yes, Clarice Cotton. Yes, Clarice. Hi, Clarice.
Okay, great, great. So to any viewers that may be tuning in and getting into watching our conversations here, if you're from St. Kitts and Nevis, we want to encourage you to look for your local program down there. Ask for Mr. Ivor Blake, Miss Clarice Cotton, and I'm sure they will be more than happy to accept you as a volunteer, or if it's just that you want to make a donation, they will be more than happy to accept your donation as well. And again, I want to remind our viewers here at home, in the Bahamas, all over the Bahamas that is, that if you are inspired or feel led to make a donation to Special Olympics Bahamas, then please give us a call, 359-3558, 477-0304, or email us at info@specialolympicsbahamas.org, and we will be more than happy to accept your donation. And remember, no donation is too small, and certainly I know Mandy will tell you no donation is too large. So those numbers again, 359-3558, 477-0304, or you can email us at info@specialolympicsbahamas.org. And just before we go back to our final segment to wrap up this conversation, I also want to remind you of our sponsor for today's program, Open Systems Technologies International. Yes, give them a call. They have been in the business of providing business solutions for over 20 years, in particular business continuity solutions. So give them a call at 242-603-6736, and Mr. Peter Bridgewater, I'm sure, will be more than happy to get your business sorted out. Okay, so just for our final segment, as we about to wrap up, Anita, your involvement over all these years, I'm sure you must have met and made so many friends. you wish to say hi to one or two of your special friends that you may have met through Special Olympics?
Well, I don't remember the names.
Of any of them? You know you're going to have one or two disappointed people to hear that you didn't remember their names, eh? Not one? You can't think of one?
Well, I met these two girls from Singapore.
Okay.
They played against me, Katie and Wachi in Ireland.
Okay, so it sounds to me like you gave them a good little present since you won the gold medal.
We won Katie and I won gold in the doubles.
Okay. So what about your friends here in the Bahamas? No friends, no special friends through.
Oh, yeah, Asha.
Okay, and at least one more you could remember.
And Metro's in Orlando.
Okay, well give them a nice little wave, a nice little hi.
Hi Asha, hi Metro.
Okay, great stuff, great stuff. And I have one more job for you to do, but I'll come back for you with that so we can end our program on that. But Mandy, back to you. Is there anything at this point that you would like to say to particularly family members out there that may have family members with special needs? It is estimated that 2% of the world's population has an intellectual disability. We've been building our program, but very slowly. Our numbers are not where we would like them to be, so surely there are a whole lot of persons with intellectual disabilities here in the Bahamas that can get involved. What would you like to say to parents out there?
Well, we continue to encourage parents to get involved. You see growth in your athletes or in your children by being involved in a program like Special Olympics. They gain their confidence, their independence, and actually I think it's somewhat of a comfort when you see them interact with others, because you know that they're socializing. You know, a lot of our population, they tend to just be to themselves. But being involved in Special Olympics, that's another family. It's another family for our athletes. And we continue to encourage parents. I know it takes a little bit of effort. Yeah, it takes effort. But because you want to give your child opportunities, you will make the effort. I know this is something that I learned from my mother. My mother was always involved, and this is how I suppose I became involved. Both of my sisters would have attended Stapleton School. I have two sisters with intellectual disabilities. And she was very, very active in the PTA of Stapleton School. She was also one of the directors of the management organization, the Bahamas Association, BAMR. That was the name, BAMR. Of course, we do not use the MR anymore. And her involvement encouraged me. And I could remember Mommy even handling an event when we had a Caribbean track and field meet here. I think it was in 1990. And the family's function, I could remember Mommy organizing the event on her own, along with assistance from Mrs. Sheila Culmer, who would have been the national director at that time. So Mommy was always involved, and she gave me the inspiration to continue to become involved. And it's something that you do. I don't know, if we could bottle it and share it out, it'll be good. All I can do is encourage parents and families to become involved. It's going to benefit your family. It's going to benefit your child. In addition to meeting numerous persons and being exposed to opportunities locally and internationally, of course, those things come with it. Yes, I've seen the world as well, because of being involved in Special Olympics and in this field, actually, not just because of Special Olympics, but being involved in the field, in the area of special education. I've had the opportunity to go global, I guess, as they would say. So all I can just encourage him. I continue to encourage you parents. It's not easy, but I can tell you, you see how it benefits your son or your daughter, and then it makes it worth it all.
Okay, so thank you for that, and again, I couldn't have said it better myself, but parents, not just parents, caregivers, guardian, grandparents, aunts, uncles, siblings. It is really important for us to have your involvement in the Special Olympics movement. It is important. This is 2021, folks, and it is no longer okay. It was never okay, but it is no longer okay for us to hide away those children with intellectual disabilities. They deserve and want life just like the rest of us, and it's up to you parents and caregivers to get them involved in something positive, get them involved in activities where they can demonstrate courage, where they can experience joy, and this is what we encourage you to do. So Anita, I'm going to come back to you, give you the last word before we close out our program, and it's asking a favor of you. I know there is an athlete's oath in Special Olympics Bahamas. Why don't you close us out with the athlete's oath?
Well, let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt.
Okay, thank you. And on that note, we wrap up this episode of our program, Special People. And so we are asking you to make sure to share this video once you go to our YouTube channel. And we're asking you to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, so that you do not miss future episodes of this program. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, ladies, for being here. See you next time on the program, Special People.